morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Chaitra. The top stories first. Easy to print 20 million ballot papers for local election. Printing to begin after releasing the final list of voters. Chinese Prime Minister in Nepal for 2-day visit. Understanding on mutual cooperation to be signed. Conference organized to avoid economic crisis in Nepal, emphasis to reduce dependency on agriculture sector. Russia claims the completion of its military operation, focuses its operation in Donbas region. And Papua New Guinea defeat Nepal in first ODI, Rohit Paudell's century goes in vain. And now the news in detail. The Election Commission is preparing to publish the final voters list. Spokesperson of the Commission, Saligram Sharma Paudel, informed that the Commission is working to verify the list and upload it in the computer on 27th March. The Commission has estimated that the numbers of voters will be reduced. Spokesperson Paudel said that those who have renounced their citizenship and those whose names are on the voter list from two places will be removed. There are about 17.7 million voters in the voters list. The Commission is preparing to publish 10 to 15% more ballot paper than the total number of voters. According to the Commission, 20 million ballot papers will be printed for the upcoming local election. The Commission said that discussions are underway with Janak Education Material Center for printing ballot papers. Meanwhile, the Chief Election Commissioner and commissioners for the Commission have been participating in election code of conduct awareness programs in different parts of the country. Chinese Minister Wang Yi arrived in Nepal on Friday leading a 19-member delegation. Foreign Minister Wang has arrived in Nepal from New Delhi, the capital of India, for a 3-day visit. Chinese Foreign Minister was received at the Tribhuvan International Airport by Foreign Secretary Bharatraj Paudel, Chinese Ambassador to Nepal Hu Yanqi, Chief of Staff Dr. Durga Bahadur Subedi and others. He arrived in Kathmandu via Afghanistan, Pakistan and India and is visiting Nepal at the invitation of Narayan Khadga. From the airport, he has reached Hotel Dwarika in Batisputali. No formal program is scheduled for Friday, but China-Nepal delegation level talks will be held at the office of Prime Minister and Council of Ministers on Saturday. After the talks of delegation, a memorandum of understanding on mutual cooperation will be signed between the two countries. A delegation of Foreign Minister Wang is scheduled to meet at the Prime Minister's official residence in Palwatar on Saturday afternoon. On Saturday evening, Foreign Minister Khadga will host a dinner in honors of his Chinese counterpart. And on Sunday morning, a courtesy meeting will be held with President Bidya Devi Bhandari at the President's office, Sital Niwas. On Sunday evening, former Prime Minister and Chairman of the CPN-UML KP Sharma Oli, former Prime Minister and Chairman of the CPN Maoist Center Pushpa Kamal Dahal will have a courtesy meeting. Foreign Minister Wang is scheduled to leave for Beijing on Sunday. Chairperson of the CPN Maoist Center, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, has stressed consensus and collaboration among the ruling political parties. At a foundation stone-laying program of an administrative building of Bharatpur Metropolitan City, Chair Dahal said that his situation would not have come if the political parties had headed alone. Saying the constitution was promulgated through a collaboration of political parties, they argued that the establishment of peace and the promulgation of constitution were not possible without the political parties' collaboration and consensus. Chairman Dahal said some of our friends in the context of the alliance have been saying that the parties should not make an alliance in local polls and we are all ready for this if they want it. Similarly, Mayor of Bharatpur Metropolitan City Renu Dahal, Deputy Mayor Parvati Saha Thakuri and Chief Executive Officer Rambandhu Subedi briefed Dahal on the development construction activities carried out by the metropolis. The Bharatpur Metropolitan City has announced a tender for a construction of the building at a cost of Rs 943.2 million. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 18 new cases of coronavirus across the country. The total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 978,315, while the number of active cases has dropped to 2,219. Coronavirus claimed no more lives across the country. Nepal is currently among top 60 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 81.56 million confirmed cases, followed by India with more than 43.01 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 477.74 million people across the world and claimed over 6.13 million lives. Growing trade deficit has been a matter of grave concern in Nepal. There has been pressure in foreign currency accumulation thanks to the growing trade deficit. Due to ongoing complex economical scenario in Nepal, the conference was organized to avoid the economic crisis as that of Sri Lanka. A report.
Now, there is wide interest and worries regarding the economy in Nepal. Nepal has to analyze and put together the strategies in time to circumvent the debt crisis like that of Sri Lanka. The general public and the intellectual have brought this to attention while the political leaders are busy in their political games. In recent trend, there is a huge trade deficit in Nepal. The political leaders have supported the fact that there is not enough economic development due to lack of social justice even after the country became republic.
हाम्रो यो प्रणाली जो राज्य प्रणालीको कुरा गरेका छौं जो राजनीतिक प्रणालीको कुरा त्यो प्रणाली अनुरूपको संविधानमा लेखिएको कुरा के हो भन्दा एउटाले एउटा कुरा भनिराछ अर्कोले अर्को कुरा भनिराछ कसरी हुन सक्छ सामाजिक न्याय मा आधारभूत रूपमा एकरूपता नहुनुको पछाडीको कारणले गर्दाखेरि आज विकासले गति लिन नसकेको कुरा हो.
It has been 6 decades since Nepal has started its National Planning Development Program. The economic growth has not been satisfactory, though there is target of economic growth in each yearly planning program. Nepal is still listed among the least developed nation in the world. Nepal is facing the problem of low economic growth, poverty, inequality, unemployment, low capital expenditure, high inflation and trade deficit since decades. It has been emphasized from time and again to decrease the dependency of population in agricultural related affairs and tweak the productivity of the nation.
पहिले कृषिमा आश्रित जनसङ्ख्या छ त्यसलाई घटाउनै पर्छ 60% राख्दै 10-15% झार्नको निम्ति कमसे 1 दशकभित्र त्यो जनसङ्ख्यालाई 10-15% झार्नको निम्ति के गर्नुपर्छ कृषिको चाहिँ व्यापक ढङ्गले चाहिँ आधुनिकीकरण चाहिँ हामीले गर्दिने थोरै मान्छे त्यहाँ रहन्छन् उत्पादकता त्यसले बढाइदिने र बाँकीलाई चाहिँ फेरि उद्योग धन्दाहरूको चाहिँ विकासहरू गरेर त्यतापट्टि शिफ्ट गर्ने सेवा क्षेत्रमा शिफ्ट गर्ने ढङ्गले नै हामी चाहिँ जानुपर्छ.
Nepal has not been able to spend its development budget in time and its implementation of development project is unsatisfactory. And due to this, there are complications in economical structures.
And now the news from economic front. World Bank has approved a $150 million credit under a policy of finance for growth development, which is to help in stability, diversify financial solution of financial sector. A report.
This lending is hoped to increase access to financial services in support of Nepal's green, resilient and inclusive development. Faris Haddad Jervis, World Bank Country Director for Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka stated, a well-functioning financial system is a key enabler for the mobilization of private investment and driver of economic activity. By strengthening the financial sector, this project will contribute to Nepal's green, resilient and inclusive recovery and growth path, particularly benefiting the poor and vulnerable. In the press statement released by the organization on Thursday, it mentioned that the second Finance for Growth operation will support enhanced supervision of the banking sector to address financial stability risk in the context of COVID-19 pandemic's impact. The operation will help open up capital, insurance and disaster risk, financing markets and foster financial products, innovations and will support initiatives to increase liquidity and inclusion through access of external commercial borrowing, financial digitalization and financial literacy for women. The operation has a new climate agenda supporting climate finance resilience, policy measures across banking, insurance, and capital markets, which will introduce green loan principles and incentives for green lending as well as new insurance and capital market products.
Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Russia has claimed that the first phase of its military operation in Ukraine was mostly complete, and that is would focus on completely liberating eastern Ukraine's Donbas region, a report.
The announcement on Friday appeared to indicate that Russia may be switching to more limited goals after running into fierce Ukrainian resistance in the first month of the war in Ukraine. The Defense Ministry said Russian-backed separatists now controlled 93% of Ukraine's Luhansk region and 54% of Donetsk region, the two areas that jointly make up in Donbas. The main objective of the first days of the operation have generally been accomplished, Sergei Rutskoy, head of the Russian General Staff's main operational directorate, said. The combat potential of the armed forces of Ukraine has been considerably reduced, which makes it possible to focus our core efforts on achieving the main goal, the liberation of Donbas. He said Russian forces had practically destroyed Ukraine's air force and anti-aircraft defenses as well as the navy. Despite that claim, Ukrainian fighters yet have continued flying sorties from bases in western Ukraine. Russia sent tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine on February 24 in what it called a special operation to weaken its southern neighbors' military capabilities and root out people it called dangerous nationalists. The West has imposed sweeping sanctions on Russia in the effort to force it to draw with forces. Rodoskoy said 1,351 Russian soldiers had died in the operation and 3,825 had been injured. Russia's military had not given an official casualty figure since March 2, when it said 498 soldiers had been killed. Ukraine's military said some 15,000 Russian soldiers have been killed in combat.
You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Chasing a mammoth target of 293 runs for victory, Nepal fell short of the target by just 6 runs as the home side managed to score 286 runs in 50 overs, losing 8 wickets, a report.
Podol's record innings of 126 runs of 107 balls was not enough to secure victory as Nepal lost the match by a small margin. He scored 7 boundaries and 4 sixes as his score outshined the record of former capital Paras Khadka, who held the record of 115 runs against the UAE in 2019. He also became the second Nepali cricketer to score an ODI century. It was also Nepal's highest score in ODI. Prior to this, Nepal had scored the maximum 255 runs against the UAE in 2019. It was also Nepal's first defeat against PNG in ODI. Nepal were in need of 10 runs from the last 6 balls. PNG's Norman Bhanua gifted 3 runs to Nepal. Sompal Kami played a dot in the 4th ball, which meant Nepal were in need of 8 runs from the last 2 balls. He then scored a single run in a long off attempt, effectively ending Nepal's quest as they needed 7 runs from the last ball. Paudel also had another record to his name. Paudel played a record-breaking 104-run partnership for the 5th wicket with Arif Sheikh, who bowled out by Asad Wala with his personal score of 34 runs off 64 balls. It is the highest partnership for a century stand by any Nepali pair so far. Prior to this, Nepal's best was a 100-run partnership for the 5th wicket against PNG, during which the two players were at the crease. PNG's Charles Amini made a one-head cut to send Paudel to the pavilion in the 46th over. Earlier, PNG, who were invited to bat first at the TU cricket ground, scored 292 runs, riding on 2 half-centuries and aggressive batting by Norman Bhanua. PNG played 50 overs, losing 8 wickets. This is the highest score posted by PNG in ODI matches. In doing so, PNG have also become the team to score maximum runs against Nepal.
A 4th-minute own goal by Senegal's Salio Ciss was enough to give Egypt a 1-0 win in the first leg of the World Cup playoff in Cairo. Ciss was incredibly unlucky when a shot from Mohamed Salah was pushed on to the bar by Edouard Mendy before striking the defender and going into the net. The game was billed as a rerun of the recent Africa Cup of Nations final won by Senegal on penalties after the match ended 0-0, and to an extent it captured the sassy nature of that occasion back in February, with few chances of significance created by either side. The game featured Liverpool's 2-star strikers Salah and Sadio Mane, but neither of them had stellar games. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Ballot papers for local elections, printing to begin after releasing the final list of voters. Chinese Prime Minister in Nepal for 3-day visit, understanding and mutual cooperation will be signed. Conference organized over economic crisis in Nepal, emphasis to reduce dependency on agriculture sector. Russia claims the completion of its military operation focuses its operation in Donbass region. And Papua New Guinea defeated Nepal in first ODI, Rohit Paudel century goes in vain. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.